Fears live in the dark corners and hidden recesses of your mind. But they fade quickly when you drag them out into the open and confront them head-on. Thomas Carlyle expresses a helpful axiom for conquering your fears. Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. Procrastination is impossible when you understand both the task facing you and your fears about it, and prepare to deal with them. Your mind needs to be alert and ready whenever you set out to accomplish a task. In order to keep your mind alert and your thinking accurate, do some mental gymnastics every day. Exercising your mind each day helps you to develop good thinking habits that lead out of the rut of procrastination into a full and rewarding life. Try these mental exercises as often as you can. 1. Spend some quiet time each day just thinking. Take time to enjoy sights, sounds, smells. Watch the sunset. Watch for wild animals living in trees near your home, and savor the smell of flowers. 2. Study something you're interested in. Learn something new every day. 3. Reflect on the events of the past. These events add fullness to the present and the future. 4. Initiate action. Do something that requires initiative and imagination on your part. 5. Achieve a goal that you have set down in written form. Finish a task or bring to completion some aspect of your life, especially something you have been neglecting. 6. Indulge your creativity. Give something to the rest of the world that will last beyond your lifetime. These mental exercises not only keep you on your toes, but help you accomplish tasks you might previously have thought impossible. If you are personally and emotionally involved in a task, it is easy to keep from procrastinating. One way to get involved is to use all 5 of your senses every time you start to work. Your ability to visualize is limited only by your imagination. Create a vivid image of each task by tasting it, smelling it, seeing it, hearing it, and touching it in your imagination. You can tackle a job more easily if you have a clear picture of everything related to it. Many people procrastinate because they lack motivation. If you are depressed or feel sorry for yourself, you need to build yourself up by improving your self-image. Take time out to review and reassure yourself of your strengths and capabilities. Acknowledge strengths where they exist, but set aside your weaknesses. Everybody has more than enough of those to worry about, and worrying about them while trying to start a new project is a sure way to fall into the procrastination trap. If you learn to boost your own ego by stressing your strengths, you improve your self-confidence and restore your enthusiasm. You get a lot more done when you really believe in yourself. Capitalize on your strengths, and weaknesses will gradually disappear or fade into insignificance. Keep a file folder of positive material. Include inspirational messages or recognitions and awards you've won. Since humor has tremendous therapeutic effects, be sure to include cartoons, anecdotes, or pictures that make you laugh. Use anything that raises your spirit and gives you the confidence you need to reach your objectives. One of the best ways to give your ego a boost is to reward yourself. A simple reward system can help you stop procrastinating, especially if you face several different tasks at once. Start by assigning points to things you have to do. Harder tasks should earn more points than easier ones. Give yourself bonus points for exceeding your own standards. Choose something simple and inexpensive that you find personally rewarding. A bottle of good wine, a night out for dinner, or allowing yourself to sleep late on a Saturday are all effective rewards if you enjoy them and don't usually indulge yourself. Try different rewards until you identify a system that helps you to stop procrastinating. Remember 2 things. Reward yourself only when you earn it. And when you earn a reward, be sure to take it. Reward systems work only if you strictly adhere to them. In order to stop procrastinating, you are sometimes forced to eliminate a habit or change a pattern of behavior. You might have to give up the coffee breaks you take every morning, especially if they are badly timed, too long, or serve no useful purpose. Giving up some TV programs is another sacrifice, and eliminating them from your schedule leaves you with more time for completing important tasks. You'll find it easier to change or eliminate a non-productive habit if you reward yourself for doing so. Rewards are far more effective than punishment or indifference when you are trying to change your behavior. The habit you are most interested in breaking right now is that of procrastinating. A good attitude gives you the momentum you need to make the changes you want. Understanding exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish is a major step in the direction of a positive attitude. Thoroughly analyze an important task. Take a sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, list all of the reasons you have for finishing the task. On the other side, list all of the reasons you can think of for postponing it. Include everything you can think of, and then compare the two lists. If a task is really important, you will come up with more reasons for completing it than delaying it. Just putting those reasons down on paper gives you the motivation you need to get started. If by chance you come up with legitimate reasons for delaying a task, drop it and go on to something else. You won't be successful if you try to work on something that causes that much anxiety and frustration. Unless there is an extremely good reason for a disagreeable task, forget about it. If someone else assigns a task to you, do it even though you would like to postpone it. If you find the task impossible to do, you may need to withdraw from the situation. This could mean anything from quitting your job to ending a personal relationship. You will have a clear idea of what to do when you have carefully analyzed the task and determined whether it is actually important to you. You should then find the correct choice fairly easy to make. Once you have taught yourself to analyze each task, learn to study each challenge closely. It will be a lot easier for you to finish a job if you know more about it. Lack of knowledge causes apathy, which is a forerunner of procrastination. You can conquer both apathy and procrastination by learning more about the things you have to do. If a task is worth completing, it is worth understanding. If you are uncertain about facts, do some research before you start. The search for more information serves as the introductory step that leads to completion of the whole project. As you learn more, your interest increases. Sharing your knowledge with others and involving them in the task supports your personal efforts. Sometimes large, complex tasks are hard to tackle. An easy way to whittle them down to a size that you can handle is to subdivide. This greatly reduces the time you spend completing each task. The way over the hurdle is cleared. But subdividing a task without working on it is just another form of procrastination. Develop a specific plan and a target date for completing all of the subdivided tasks necessary to complete your project. The best way to stop procrastinating is never to start in the first place. You can do this by planning. Many people talk about plans for finishing all sorts of projects, but never actually carry out their plans. Because so few people plan for the most effective use of their time, hours each day are wasted. Planning each day in advance can save these hours as well as saving you from falling into the procrastination trap. Start by setting some long-term goals. A goal is a clear statement of something you want to do in a specified time. For example, Jill intends to lose 7 pounds within a 3-week period starting today. Specific objectives can be developed in order to help you plan to achieve your goals. Jill might plan to cut sweets and fats from her diet immediately in order to reduce the number of calories she consumes each day. She might also plan a visit to the doctor for advice on what type of diet would be most helpful for her. The best goals have a definite outcome. Deciding to lose weight is too vague. Deciding to lose 7 pounds in 3 weeks is definite. You know for sure whether or not you achieve your goal. Plan every day, taking into account the goals you are trying to achieve. As the first thing in the morning or the last thing the night before, make a checklist of everything you need to do during the day to accomplish your goals and objectives. Set priorities for each task so you can be sure to do the important things first. Take time to assess your results at the end of each day. Look at your list of tasks and see how many you accomplished. Incorporate these results into your plan for tomorrow. Spread your tasks over a longer period of time if you find yourself short of time during any one day. Plan to accomplish more each day and build a sense of improvement into your expectations. Be goal-oriented. Focus on your objectives and move briskly toward their completion. Take shortcuts when you see them, and think in terms of doing the project well and finishing it. The more time you spend in planning, the less you will need for completing the tasks. One of the most important planning activities involves arranging tasks in order of their priority. Setting priorities helps you to do the things that are most important before everything else. The sense of accomplishment that accompanies the knowledge that you have finished the tasks that are most important for you today is an invaluable self-motivator. One of the best ways to establish priorities is included in Paul J. Meyer's Dynamics of Personal Time Control. Meyer suggests that during your planning session for each day, you separate the tasks facing you into imperative items and important items. Imperative items belong at the top of your list. These are the tasks you must accomplish as soon as possible. Important items should be near the top of your list, but they are not quite as urgent as imperative items. They can be done at any convenient time in the next few days. After you have completed your imperative important lists, with the imperative activities at the top under that heading, and the most important activities listed in the lower half of the page, check your list carefully. You may find some activities you have listed as imperative are high on someone else's list, but are not important for you to complete. If you put these tasks ahead of your own imperative task, you are probably seeking approval from others. Schedule your day based on your own imperatives. Occasionally, everyone experiences slack time when everything on their imperative and important lists is finished. Another list, which includes busy work activities like reorganizing the office files, can put slack time to productive use. Busy work tasks also provide a welcome relief from difficult tasks and can be used when you feel the need for a working break. But spending too much time on them when you have a list of imperatives that is far from complete is another form of procrastination. Once you begin to work on your scheduled tasks, feel free to rearrange your priorities if necessary. Re-examine your list from time to time so you always know what should come first. Be determined to say no to disruptive tasks or to tasks other people would like for you to place in front of your own imperatives. Keep your goals and objectives in front of you. Some people have a difficult time taking the first step toward completing their tasks. After a planning session during which you divide the tasks facing you into several small jobs, the only thing to do is to start working. As soon as you have everything you need in order to complete the task successfully, start on it. Make adjustments as you go. If you have all the facts you need, get moving. If not, start getting the facts. If a task looks impossible, or if you would rather do something else which is equally important, scratch the task from your list. Deciding to accept or reject a task is sometimes difficult. You may want to lead your daughter's Girl Scout troop, but feel that the time involved would be too much for you. Prolonging a decision like this is another form of procrastination. Come to terms with the task and make your decision to go ahead or leave it alone. Whatever you decide, you will at least avoid the anxiety and indecision which would have resulted from continued procrastination. You can ensure that things will get done on time if you do more than just make up your mind to do them. Any important task has a greater chance of being completed when you formally commit yourself to do it. Making a commitment can be as simple as a written promise on your calendar to lose 10 pounds, to give up cigarettes, or to complete a report by a certain date. Making the commitment public by telling your spouse, a friend, or your employer increases your motivation to finish the project. Make your commitments to people you trust and respect. They can help you by reviewing your progress toward a goal, helping you set deadlines, and evaluating your results along with you. When you make a commitment to someone else, you'll find yourself thinking more about others and less about your own self-interest. Your concerns, fears, and anxieties become secondary to the expectations of people you feel good about. This attitude change helps to break the habit of procrastination. When others share them, your accomplishments become all the more enjoyable. Making a commitment helps you to finish a task. But sometimes you need even more help to get started. The first step is the most important one. Make sure this step is a leading task and that it is also the easiest one. A leading task aims you in the direction of a major task that you have been postponing. It should be relatively simple, requiring little planning or conscious effort. Spreading out the necessary files before writing an overdue report, looking up the phone number of someone you should call, or buying a jogging suit to start an exercise program are all leading tasks. The first step in going on a diet might be to buy a calorie counter. Don't allow yourself to procrastinate by doing busy work and pretending that you are completing a leading task. Busy work only leads to procrastination if you're trying to start an imperative project. A leading task should be considered part of the total project and should lead directly to the successful completion of the project. Look to the future and see what lies ahead, and you will be better able to keep up with your imperative tasks. You can work faster and better if you visualize yourself getting the job done. The key lies in the intensity of your vision and the depth of your concentration. Develop your visualization skills through the practice of a simple exercise. Find a small room, close the door, and sit down in a comfortable chair. Close your eyes and relax completely. Put all distracting thoughts out of your mind and concentrate very hard on having the door open again. Picture the open door in your mind's eye. Imagine your hand on the knob, turning it, and opening the door. Concentrate very hard for several minutes until you can clearly see the door of the room being opened. Ignore all distracting thoughts that try to interfere with your concentration. Then, open your eyes, stand up, and look at the door. If you have concentrated very hard, and if you are like most people, you will feel an urge to open the door. The picture you formed in your mind motivates you to act right away. You may even feel uncomfortable if the door stays closed, so open it. Use this same exercise to see yourself beginning an important task. If you can clearly visualize the completion of a project, you will be motivated to do it. Reaching a deep level of concentration depends upon your ability to relax and clear your mind of distracting thoughts. Here's an easy relaxation technique. Start by sitting or lying in a comfortable position with your eyes closed. Allow all of your muscles to relax, beginning with your toes and working up to your facial muscles. Breathe easily and naturally through your nose. As you breathe out, silently repeat a word or phrase to help keep your mind from wandering to distracting thoughts. You may use the word one for this purpose. If you practice each day, you'll soon be able to bring about the relaxation response with very little effort. When you are fully relaxed, visualize yourself completing a task and concentrate only on that. Make a habit of visualizing yourself doing things you might otherwise postpone. And you'll discover that you are getting a lot more done with much less procrastination. Sometimes you may be too close to a task to see it being completed. Stand back and take a detached look, or get someone else to help you. Another person may see a solution that you may have missed. Consider every aspect of a task before you take anything for granted, success or failure. The amount of time that is available for doing a task often determines its difficulty. That is why it is important to know how to use the time you have. Some of your tasks must be done on certain dates, like birthdays or anniversaries. Other tasks, like starting a diet, can be done almost any time. Know what your deadlines are and how to work with them. Learn to budget time as you would any other valuable resource. Identify activities that waste time, and ask yourself if it would make any difference if you took that time to goof off. You will know when you wasted time if you feel bad afterward about postponing something you should have done. Try to fill in small time slots when you might otherwise waste time with short projects that are important to you. Write a letter, make a phone call, collect the information or supplies you need to begin your next important activity. Parkinson's law says that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Conversely, if you make less time available for doing things, you will probably rid yourself of many useless activities. Know your deadlines and keep a tight schedule that prevents dawdling and procrastination. Acknowledge success along the way so you can keep going at a steady pace. Occasionally, a time comes when you feel that your task has gotten the best of you. That's when you should look to other people for help. If you are overwhelmed by a complex task, you can avoid procrastinating by delegating some of your load to others. Start by carefully dividing your tasks into clearly defined parts. Make sure the people who are helping you understand how the different parts relate to the whole task. If they are confused, they end up procrastinating. But if you give them lots of information at the beginning, they won't need to come back to you for clarification. Once you have delegated full responsibility for certain tasks, you will be free to work on the items that you can do best. As others complete their assignments, gather their results with your own into a final product. You will be surprised at the ease with which you bring the project to completion. Involving other people in your task makes them feel good by allowing them to make significant contributions. Involving other people in your task can sometimes be difficult, but you can minimize the problem by being objective. An awareness of the influence other people have on what you do is necessary in any situation. You tend to procrastinate and cause a lot of unnecessary anxiety for yourself and others if you let individual personalities keep you from completing your tasks. Be tactful and considerate of the opinions of others. Treat everyone fairly. If you have an important task to do, you must do it in spite of the possibility of personality conflict. Come to terms with potential adversaries. Some of your worries may be unfounded, but if conflicts remain, try to resolve them before the work begins. If all else fails, you will just have to go ahead in the face of criticism from others. Keep your attention focused on the task, not the person. Other people are controlling your life if you allow their feelings to cause you to procrastinate. Such procrastination causes anxiety and prevents reaching your goals and objectives. Live your life the best way you can without letting others interfere in a negative way. Your effectiveness in achieving your goals can also be controlled by your environment. In order to keep from procrastinating, recognize and understand all of the forces that can get in your way. If the situation isn't satisfactory, you may procrastinate simply because you are uncomfortable. The lighting may be poor in your work area. You may be too hot or too cold, or there may be too much noise. All of these distractions can be used as excuses to delay or postpone important tasks. Solve this problem by determining what kind of environment is best for you before you start to work. You may even want to experiment with different levels of noise and light intensity. Work alone or around others. Work early in the day, late at night, or at midday. Work before or just after strenuous exercise. Keep track of your results and identify optimum times and conditions when you are at your best. Create a work environment that is best for you. Make changes as they are needed. Strive for an environment that motivates you to act. When you have worked hard on a task, boredom and fatigue can set in. That may be when you procrastinate instead of completing the task or starting a new one. If so, take a short break and seek diversion. Always create a stopping point or a milestone when you plan for the accomplishment of a task. After you have finished everything up to that point, take a break. When you return to the task, you can start fresh, knowing exactly where you left off. Physical activity, especially walking, is effective as a diversion. If you have reached a milestone in your task and find it is hard to continue, stop and take a short walk. The exercise clears your mind, and the sights and sounds you encounter help to generate new ideas. The burst of energy you gain will help you finish the task. When you experience physical fatigue, take a rest. Sometimes a short cat nap or a relaxation break helps to restore bodily processes. Rest time also allows your subconscious thoughts to incubate, providing you with new solutions to existing problems. You have taken some big steps toward conquering procrastination. Not only have you learned why most people procrastinate, you have examined several methods to help people stop procrastinating. You now have a better idea of why you procrastinate and how you can stop. Listen to this tape repeatedly. Allow yourself to sift through the information and come up with a personal plan of action that is right for you, that serves your needs, meets your capabilities, and accounts for your limitations. Your plan of action should guide you in deciding what has to be done, when, and how. Once you have developed your plan, apply it with a determined effort. Write out a plan for attaining all of the goals you consider essential. Visualize yourself first taking action on them, and then see yourself as you will be when the goal is completed. Then take off and start to do all of the important things that you want to accomplish. Stay with your plan to stop procrastinating and incorporate this plan into your action for goal achievement. When you complete an important task, reward yourself. Eliminating the procrastination habit from your life is an important step in your growth and development. Do it.
Here's a message of interest from the producers of Success Motivation cassette tapes. Just one exposure to new material, whether you listen or read, is unlikely to bring you many benefits. But through the power of spaced repetition, you can listen to this tape many times and increase your understanding and retention with each repetition. Every time you listen, you will increase what you remember. The more you remember, the more you will actually use. We recommend that you listen to this cassette tape at least once a day for a week, and then as often as you can to get the most benefits from the ideas and information it contains. This cassette tape is part of a series of Success Motivation cassette tapes produced by SMI International Incorporated and distributed by Success Motivation Cassettes, a division of SMI. The information on this cassette is protected by international copyright. All rights are strictly reserved. Duplication or reproduction in whole or in part is prohibited without the written consent of SMI International Incorporated. Success Motivation cassette tapes are available at retail stores, from Success Motivation cassette tape distributors, or by writing directly to Success Motivation Cassettes, Post Office Box 8018, Waco, Texas, zip code 76714, 8018.